Oh, you're saying you hope he uses it as a asset, not a liability, but you also teach or help people with business credit so they can use things like that for an asset, right?
So, one of the things is, like Turo. Turo is out there, and if you don't know what Turo is, it's pretty much a site where you can list your vehicle that you have if it meets, requirements and standards to be able to allow other people to use your vehicle and make income off that car every month, right? So think about it. If you had a $350 car note every month, but you're making $600-$700 a month on one vehicle, and maybe it's only being rented out for 15 days a month that you still have access to, and you're paying off that car at the same time, that no longer is a liability. It's similar to like having a house. If you live in a house, it's a liability. But when you move out that house and it starts to be a rental property, it's now an asset.
Are you looking to buy or sell your home, but not quite sure if now is the right time? Well, contact Morgan & Co. and allow them to help you make that decision. Morgan & Co. is a leading, top producing company in Central Virginia. Contact Morgan & Co. today at 804-874-6806 or anytime, day or night, at www.morganandcorealty.com. Now back to the episode. Welcome to the Success Leaves Clues podcast, where I find regular people doing extraordinary and phenomenal things in corporate America and entrepreneurship. And of course, I'm your host, Dr. K. I have with me today a very special guest, Isaiah Taylor. He is in so many different things and killing it in each and every field. And I know he's going to have a lot to share with us. But go ahead and introduce yourself, Isaiah.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? So my name's Isaiah Taylor, Taylor Made Millions on Instagram, and I'm a native of Richmond, Virginia. And I would say that I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I'm all about helping people. So I'm excited to be here, man. This is really dope what you're doing, and I'm excited to share my journey and see whoever I can help.
Thank you. Glad to have you here. So when you say serial entrepreneurship, what are you involved in?
Yeah, so right now, man, I'm involved in two primarily businesses. So film. So to start with film, I got into film about 6 or 7 years ago. And really to go, I kind of got into it on accident. My brother needed help at the time, filming a photo shoot. So I was like, man, I'll go buy a camera, man. Like, I got you, right? And then I noticed when I got behind the camera, man, it turned into a passion. Just to see, that individual kind of light up and showcase them in a way that, at their best. So it really turned into something to say, okay, I want to do this, right? Because at the end of the day, if I could bring value to people and kind of exploit them in a way that maximizes whether it's their personal or business, man, that was the whole purpose of the film business.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I run a credit company. It's going on our 5th month, so fairly new, but we've been doing some amazing things.
I've seen it.
Been able to build out a team. So yeah, man, that's the two businesses I got going on right now.
Yeah. When you talk about film, you say it's your passion. I've actually had the chance to work with you.
Yeah.
And of course, I follow you and I've seen a lot of the productions and things that you do. So I could tell it's your passion. How old were you when you got into the film, and how did you realize it was your passion?
Yeah, so I would say I was 24 at the time when I initially started. And for me, I realized it turned into my passion when I saw the end product and what it did for people in their lives, right? I'll give you an example to go a little deeper. I had a client who, initially was pretty much an introvert. She didn't want to be on camera, but at the same time, she wanted to promote her business, right? So really just having that conversation about purpose, right? And saying that, hey, sometimes you'll go through things and it may be hard, you may struggle, but this is going to bring extra value to your life by making a decision and standing on that decision. So I would say that interaction and that client really helped me to see that at that point it was my passion to be able to help people from a film perspective and just shine light on whatever they were looking to expose. Yeah.
So film is a wide range, right? What kind of film are you doing? You making movies? Are you doing any niche things? What type of film?
So predominantly it's going to be more so where I have a client base, right? So, for instance, if you have an entertainment company or if you're a real estate agent, or if you are a small business owner of any kind, right? I want to target and work with those individuals, right? Now I may do weddings sometimes and, events and stuff like that, but my true, the true foundation of the film business is having clients, right, that I'm able to work with, and not only on a one-time occasion, right? What I was able to identify is it's okay to have a passion. That's important because you need to know why you're doing it. But at the same time, you want to be able to maximize your income, right? So what I understood it to be, instead of having to do one-time events, I said, hey, why not have a client base where they come back to me every single month, right? Because they need new content creation, social media automation, potentially ad management, right? And just guidance as far as building out some form of treatment plan as it relates to their business from a marketing standpoint. So it's a variety of different services that kind of go into that. But that's primarily like the focus of the film business right now.
Yeah, that's real smart. I know a lot of people who do or might have that kind of passion, but they don't know how to run it as a business. So they do a lot of film, but they might just do freelance videography, or they might just do weddings of people that they know. But you've actually taken it and turned it into a true business and been able to scale, like you said, horizontally. And a lot of people look for growth vertically, and then they're charging too much, or they outgrow or their customer base, right?
Correct.
So that's really smart that you was able to scale it that way. Do you have something, you said you want those clients to keep coming back to you. Did you implement anything that is a kind of a subscription or a membership program, or how are you doing that?
Yeah, so what we do is we have a package, right? So the package is going to include not only access to, my co-working space where we have rooftop, we have studios in there, we have different things, but it also is going to include fresh content. So at the end of the day, if you're a real estate agent, right, you're always going to have properties you want to show. You're always going to be kind of marketing to potential buyers, right? So that's just something in itself that's retainment. I know you want to come back, right? Yeah. So, and at the end of the day, if I'm providing a quality product, and I'm passionate about what I'm doing, then at the end of the day, that client's going to be satisfied, right? So understanding that having a variety of different services within one organization is several businesses in itself. Like you say, you don't always have to go vertical. Sometimes going horizontally and expanding on what you already know and just making it make sense for that client base and having a great customer experience means everything. Yeah, for sure.
Another thing I noticed about you is your professionalism.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you hire companies, any market, any type of service, a big thing is professionalism, and you can lose your customer base or your reputation by even one bad experience. And I've noticed every time I've had an interaction with you, or every time I've seen you interact with any of your customers, it's been like over and beyond on value and on professionalism. Where did that come from?
What I would say, man, is at the end of the day, my dad told me this story a long time ago. So my dad worked in corrections for about 30 years, and he grew up in a single mother household in the projects. And I'm the youngest of three boys, and I remember he took us on he called it a field trip at the time, but he took us to the penitentiary, and he said he showed us the electric chair. He showed us inmates who were in cells, and he said the only thing you have in this life is your name. You have your name, and when you tarnish that name, that's something that you never can get back. It'll never be fully how it was before you made that mistake to tarnish it, right? So in any interaction I have, any business venture, or even in personal at this point in my life, I show up, number one, and then number two, I treat everything seriously. Sometimes, you can have fun and stuff, but it's a line that you draw on that. When it's business time, it's go time. Look at your top athletes out here, like the Michael Jordans, right? You beat Michael Jordan in the regular season, and he see you in the playoff time.
Oh yeah.
He's Look not out. Playing. Don't come shaking my hand before the game. This is business. So I think keeping that type of business acumen at all times has helped me grow my relationships, right, and trust, and build more trust and retain it. So yeah.
So Tell me a little bit more about your childhood, how you grew up, and things like that. You mentioned 3 boys. Any other siblings, or just your brothers? Or?
Yeah, just my older brothers. What I'll tell you is, when you're the youngest, right? Like sometimes you get left behind most of the time, right? Because your older siblings are doing things that maybe they feel like you're not old enough to do yet, or they don't really want to hang out with you, right? So, for me specifically, my childhood was I had friends and stuff like that, but I had to kind of develop the mentality of I guess you can say self-worth and self-value throughout those years, right? Because I had to learn the hard way that, hey, at some point you got to look at me like I'm the big boy on campus. I'm the big man on campus, right? So I think that over the years, right, now in my adulthood, I'm 33, I would say the last 3 years, the thing that has shifted for me the most has been mindset, and I think that when you talk about having a job, right, or doing your work, you think about finances. So most people do, right? You think about, okay, if I have these 2 jobs, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to be happy, right? Or people are going to want to just automatically buy what I have or be around me or, just share experiences with me. And I think it goes to understanding that a job is just something you get paid for. Your work is becoming a purpose. You know what I mean? So I would say from my childhood to now, the understanding that becoming of my purpose was to help people and, be able to exploit the talents that I've been blessed with from God to be able to pour into people in the ways that I was talented. Yeah. And when you live in your passion like that, man, and you walk in your purpose, nothing can stop you because you can get fired from a job tomorrow. Yeah. But if you have your work and your purpose, nobody can ever take that from you.
They can fire you from a job, but not from your purpose.
They can fire you from your job, but they can't fire you from your work.
Yeah.
So always do the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, did you play any sports when you was growing up?
Basketball, man.
That was mine too.
For real?
Yeah, I played a lot of different sports, but basketball was that's my sport.
You got a jumper?
No, I'm in the paint, man.
Oh, you in the paint?
I'm a rebound. I'm gonna put it back up, though.
Yeah. I played football actually my freshman year at Verona High School, man. Going into my sophomore year, I don't know how much you know about Verona High School back then, but like the summer practices was just something I wasn't expecting. Like we had like 3 days pulling sleds, and as good as I played cornerback at the time. I know I'm a little bigger now, like linebacker, but I played cornerback back then, and I remember a game. I hit this guy, my ears started ringing. I said, "Yep, I'm a basketball player. I'm a basketball player." So yeah, man, I did pretty well. Actually, was all regional for Verona High School. We got all the way up to like the state semifinals, quarterfinals. Excuse me. 1 year we lost to Tyrese Rice, and I remember that game, man. That guy's the truth. But yeah, outside of that, I was a redshirt walk-on at Virginia State. Played for about 2 years there, and then just got my degree after that, man. Yeah.
And what's your degree in?
Computer information systems.
Really?
Yeah, man. So School of Business, CIS major. So yeah, that was cool, man. I think it was cool to go to Virginia State as well. HBCU. And a lot of times people don't think about it. Like at that time, I went to pretty much a diverse high school at the time. I know right now it's probably predominantly black, I think. But going to HBCU, I was still in culture shock because it was just like, oh, these is all my people. This is dope. You know what I'm saying? So it was very prestigious, and I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot as far as self-discipline and accountability. Just going to class, your parents not there to wake you up. Yeah. You got to learn to grow up, So if anything, college did that for me too. Yeah,
it is very prestigious. Whenever I walk on Virginia State's campus, you get that aura, that feeling of like pride and prestige. Recently did a college tour for my daughter, so that's one of the schools that we went to.
I saw that.
Yeah, she's got her heart set on a HBCU, and I think Virginia State's probably going to be one of the top ones.
And she close to home too.
Yeah,
so you like that?
Yeah, like that.
There you go. There you go. That's what's up.
Yeah. You had any mentors that you can pinpoint during that time?
Yeah.
Whether it be high school, college.
It was for real. It was my brothers, man. I'll talk about each of them. So, started with my middle brother, Dwayne. Dwayne is the definition of he won't be defeated. Any business venture that he started, he will find a way to be successful in an ethical way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that growing up, being a younger brother, seeing that in him helped me to understand that there was more to life and more that I could do by seeing him be the example from that perspective. My oldest brother, I would say AT or Alfonso, he leads with his heart, very passionate about people. And at the end of the day, his follow through with people and just, who he is as a human being is amazing. And just to see how everything that he's doing now in his life, he was a star basketball player at Virginia Union. He played for Dave Robbins. I don't know if you remember the late Dave Robbins. And on top of that, now he's assistant head coach for Verona High School basketball, who's set to hopefully, win the states this year.
Yeah.
And he also works in the space, with kids, right, for the county of Henrico. So both of them were prime examples as far as motivation for me. And then, absolutely my father. My father was just the enforcer, right? So, I remember I was about 12 at a basketball court playing somewhat the projects. And, the life lessons he taught me sometimes were hard, but they stick with me to today. And, one of the things is, you say as long as you respect people, don't let nobody disrespect you.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of values that I've learned from those three guys. And, I hope to instill that in the people I touch on a day-to-day at this point in my life. And especially my daughter, as she gets older, she's 2, about to be 3. So just seeing her grow up from just being an infant where I can hold her to now she just want to run around, right?
Yeah.
It's just amazing to see the impact you can have on your own kids. So, yeah.
I think it's going to be excellent for your daughter growing up, seeing you in entrepreneurship, and it's going to be like second nature to her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you take her to your office and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
on jobs with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so she's becoming, it's just her norm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's learning a lot. And it's probably like from your mentor, you said your brother, he was an entrepreneur too, right?
Yeah, for like the last, let me see here, we're in 2021. So, yeah, man, since like 2009, he's either owned a barbershop or, been in another business venture in the mental health space. So, yeah, he's been an entrepreneur for a long time.
Yeah. It's good to have those examples and people that you can feed off of. People in your community that you've seen do it before.
Yeah.
It just kind of breaks down that barrier and makes it so much easier for you because now you know it's attainable. Right?
Yeah.
You've seen somebody do it. When you have to do it first, it's still very achievable.
Mm-hmm.
But you have this wall up that, can actually be you.
Yeah. And I talked about that actually with a colleague the other day, not directly about that, but just about your environment, right? I remember back when I was doing like mental health support. I had a kid I was responsible for just making sure they, got on the right track.
Yeah.
He's 9 years old and was from like a underprivileged area here in Richmond, Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And took him to Short Pump.
Okay.
I said, we're going to Short Pump, man. Let's just go out here. I might get you a T-shirt or something. And he said, what's Short Pump? What state is that in? What state is that in? So this kid hadn't been out of the radius of the city his entire 9 years of his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to your point, you have some kids out there that grow up around, things where they understand already at a very young age what it means to be successful. So they're not afraid to not have a 9 to 5. It's okay to have a 9 to 5, but they're not afraid to not have it.
Yeah.
Because they've learned the mindset. It goes back to mindset, right? The mindset and the tools to be able to go out and apply what they know to generate income.
Yeah.
Right? Where some people don't have that opportunity. Doesn't mean they're not as smart. It just means that they weren't exposed to those things. So like you said, they have a learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the episode. I hate to interrupt, but I had to tell you about a community that I'm a part of. It's called The Morning Meetup. It's where hundreds of entrepreneurs gather every single morning. Look, we share ideas, we motivate each other, we share our successes. It's the perfect environment for you to not only grow as an individual, but as an entrepreneur. It's hosted by my mentor, David Shands. It's every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. It's no better way to start your day. Look, we've got a book club. Imagine hundreds of entrepreneurs reading the exact same book on the exact same chapter. You get to discuss that book and share your thoughts. It's very motivating. It empowers you, and you're ready to start your day. You get all of that for only $1. After that, it goes to $79 a month. I have no doubts that you're going to want to stay and be a part of this community. Look, I'm there every single morning, 8 a.m. The only thing we're missing is you. The link is in the description. Go ahead, click the link, try it out, join the community. Look forward to seeing you in the morning. As far as being exposed to things, I know you also invest a lot.
Yeah.
You do Forex and trading and who knows what other investments, right? How did you get exposed to that? Because that's not common for most people. I know there's a lot of people who still don't even know what currency exchange and things like that are. Yeah.
I would say my discernment in people. I can discern good energy in people who are good for my life as far as bringing value and still being able to bring value to them, right? So kind of like how we met, right? I've learned a lot from you, but at the same time, it's a good friend of mine by the name of Kevin Howell, and I think you met Kevin. I've known Kevin for about 12, 13 years now, and when you have good people like that, I don't care how far they move or how long you haven't been in contact. If they feel like you can bring them value, right? It'll happen. So, he booked me for a film gig in Boca Raton, Florida, and just being exposed to that environment, even though I was just there to film, right? I got exposed to a whole nother business opportunity. So what did I do? I said, you know what? I'm going to leverage my relationship with Kevin and his associates to be a student. I never stopped being a student. And I think sometimes as people, we get so caught up on either wanting to be right or either wanting to feel like we know it all. It's okay not to know it all.
Yeah, it is.
It is okay because you can't learn feeling like you know it all. So being open to that, always knowing that I want to be able to always bring value. I don't care if somebody says, hey, I want to do this for you. How can I bring you value? That's how you retain friendships, relationships, and at the end of the day, get exposed to opportunities, like you said, with binary options and trading and so forth like that.
That's incredible that you were there for your business, getting paid, but still was open enough to pay attention to your surroundings and what was going on. So I know a lot of people who walk past or even presented opportunities on a regular basis and don't even see them for what they are.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it goes back to mindset. Mindset is everything. I will talk about that all day because, I think that when you have high self-esteem, nothing will challenge you that potentially could be a blessing for you. You know what I mean? When you're living in that space of low self-esteem, you gotta figure out what's going on because you gotta fix that because you're gonna miss blessings, you're gonna miss opportunities, and at the end of the day, you're gonna live in a space feeling like you know it all, right? Just because you don't want to look like the person that doesn't know everything, right? So when I was able to identify that, man, it just opened my eyes to a lot of things, for sure.
What makes you humble enough to ask questions or to feel like you don't know it all? Because like you said, ego makes you want to act like you know it or are familiar with it. But like you said, it's really helpful to not know everything.
I would say what makes me humble is that I know that I have a long way to go still in my purpose and my journey, right? And to do that, it takes people pouring into you that have done it already or have done something to a level that you haven't obtained yet. So sometimes you have to be humble, like you said, very humble, and just receive information and be a student and just download. Just download, and be open. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to say, but I think to be more specific, reading. I read a lot of books now. Like, I don't read them in an organic way. I would say, actually, I listen to a lot of books through Audible. Yeah. But that has helped me develop some personal skills that were lacking maybe when I was 23, 24, 25. From a relationship standpoint, from a business standpoint, from just a personal standpoint. And when you can pour into yourself first, right? And know what your self-value is and your self-worth and have self-discipline and self-accountability and all of those things, man, nothing can touch you, because you're going to walk into a room and say, hey, man, okay, what you doing? Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah.
I need to know. Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, my brother. I walk past people down the street and I say, man, look, I like those shoes, brother.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like people in our culture, man, that's or as just a black man, I'm gonna say that, is that, we used to just walking on the street
and mugging. Yeah.
For what? For what? Mm-hmm. Nah. Like, we all out here trying to do better for ourselves. So at the end of the day, I'm not gonna block any blessing. Mm-hmm. And it goes back. If I'm giving respect, I just expect respect.
Yeah, that's
it.
That's incredible. Like, what you were talking about is like, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And would you pour into yourself all the books and all the information that you possibly can, it's very impactful for you. Like, it's going to do things for you that you probably haven't even realized yet, because that information that you're taking in, you might not have to pull that out until 3 years from now or something, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to be there.
Very true.
But how do you find the time? Because a lot of people are going to say, well, you run multiple businesses, you have a young daughter, you got life, right?
Yeah.
But you still make the time. How do you do that?
You have to make sacrifices. At the end of the day, I'm not going to sit on Netflix and watch 5 episodes or binge 5 episodes of BMF. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to, but I understand the power of planning and time. You know what I mean? So if it's me getting up and getting in the shower, I'm playing an Audible book.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm tired, but I'm not really tired. I'm laying in bed. I'm playing an Audible book until I feel like I'm just about to pass out and go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm driving to the office. I'm playing an Audible book. I'm not listening to music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to back to mindset, this has to work or it has to work. This has to work or it has to work. How can I make this work?
Yeah.
But if you have the mindset, I hope this work, it may not work. It's a book I read called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. I don't know if you heard of it, but it talks about the biggest thing that is in people's way most of the time is how they think.
Okay.
So either you have adequate thoughts or you have inadequate thoughts. So if I have inadequate thoughts, I'm saying, I'm not good enough. I can't get this done. My body posture, all of that goes into your belief system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you say, man, I am going to, you affirm. Every morning I have 10 affirmations I give myself. You know what I mean? So all of those things go into making things work, back to your point about finding time with the audibles.
That's too much. I'm taking that in. That's a lot, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Your affirmations, are they personal or can you share them?
No, they're not personal, man. It's just or
even if not all 10.
Yeah. So I would say things like I am the influence.
Okay.
I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am enough. I am powerful. I am more than I am today. So I tell myself these things because life is hard. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say life is easy. It's hard. It's hard as shit. But at the end of the day, what makes you tougher and what helps you grow is the experiences you go through life. And the thing is, the key word, go through.
Yeah.
You don't stop. You don't run away from it. You don't say, man, can I find a way around this? No, you got to go through it.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna like putting steel into the fire. It's gonna make you tougher.
Yeah.
And you can endure anything. So affirmations is something to kind of level me out, to ensure that when I start my day, my mindset is right. and nothing can pull me off of that focus.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know a lot of people that may be watching may not know what an affirmation is or how to deliver an affirmation. And one of the key things, like you said, is with your mindset and your confidence. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
I don't personally do affirmations. I believe 100% in affirmations. I just don't have a list. So I was kind of getting, so I could steal some.
Yeah, bro.
That's what
I think that, like, you know, I don't know if you heard of Dr. Miles Monroe, the late Dr. Miles Monroe. So he's a pastor that passed away, unfortunately, about a year or two ago. But what he talked about is that before you can do anything in life, one, like I talked about earlier, you gotta know what your work is.
Okay.
So if your work is to say, man, I need to build up my self-character, then what's the question you gotta ask yourself? Who am I? Who am I? It sounds like a simple question, but there's a lot of people out there that can't answer that question. Who am I, and what is my purpose?
Yeah.
What is my work? And when you understand those things, man, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like I can do anything. You know what I mean? I feel like I can do anything, man.
I feel like you can too.
Hey, same with you, brother. Same with you. That's why I'm sitting here with you today, because I affirm that this is gonna be. Hey, you already know at the top. It's going to the top. So yeah. Yeah.
So what about your other business? You do you have a credit repair or restoration? What's the proper terminology for it?
Credit counseling, credit repair.
Okay.
So really how I got into that, man, I had a lot of clients in the film business, marketing wise. We would always have dialogue around building business credit, or just typically if you look at the statistics for most entrepreneurs, the credit is bad. Because a lot of times they're investing ups and downs. You know, it's not like you said, it's not level as it relates to just consistent income. So I said, man, and I'll give you the first month of what that looked like.
Okay.
I was at T-Mobile still at the time, and I said, man, this film business, I know about credit at this point. You know, God, I think this is for me. I'm about to take this leap. This is gonna bring me all the finances that I need to not only fund my life, to make sure my daughter's straight down the line. If I grind really hard, and I boom, I just get a lot of clients, right? That was my initial mindset, right? My first month, I did horrible. I got 4 clients in the first month. You know why?
I was about to applaud that. 4 classes. Any business getting 4 right away is good, but
in a month,
I hear what you're saying.
When you consider like the marketing budget and how many leads I had coming in for my marketing team, it was horrible. So I had to sit down and have a conversation with myself. I said, man, God, I done left this job. I'm in these businesses. This has to work or it has to work. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And what it came back to is that I was focused on the wrong thing. I was focused on making money. It's not about making money. What it's about, like, obviously you want to make money, right?
Yeah.
But what it's about is, how can I impact every person I talk to? How can I just, like we have just having a conversation, how can I just have a conversation? This is a human being on the other side of this home.
Yeah.
What's going on in their life versus trying to follow a script to close a client? Let me talk to you about your life. Yeah. Let me tell you who I am. Right?
Yeah.
And by building that type of rapport, it goes back to customer experience, right? I closed 35 clients to follow a month. 35 clients to follow a month.
Just by changing the way you look at the client. Wow.
Yeah. I said, how many people can I impact versus how much money can I make? How many people can I impact?
Yeah.
Because when you have that mindset, I'm going to think about money. Money's going to come. But when you, again, in that purpose, you have the right mindset, money will always be there, man. Yeah.
So with the credit business, what do you do, or what do you teach your clients that they probably couldn't get anywhere else or on their own?
Yeah. So the first thing we like to do, man, is we like to explain the process, right? A lot of clients that come in as potential clients don't understand the consumer laws and protections that are in place for them. Sometimes people are like, man, if it's on my credit, it got to be there. And that's not true. Typically, what myself and my team did the research on and we understand is that, there's things like the FCRA or Fair Credit Reporting Act that's in place to govern credit bureaus. People think these credit bureaus are government agencies or companies. They're just trillion-dollar data furnisher companies, right? That are reporting information on you. So who's to say they're right? Who's to say they're accurate, they're updated, and they're verifiable?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So one, we like to not only educate our clients on the process, but at the end of the day, we also like to let them know timelines. We give them access as far as a client portal because we know customer experience is important. So we want you to have access and remain engaged, right? And then in addition to that, a lot of clients have questions about, well, I have this medical bill on my credit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, do you know about HIPAA laws? I'm like, I ask my client, do you know about HIPAA laws? Yeah, I know about HIPAA laws. So how can it be on your credit if we can't disclose what that account is for as a medical bill? Did you know that's not supposed to be on your credit? Did you know there's a certain consumer law that's in place to get that removed?
I did.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And a lot of clients are like, no, I didn't know that.
I was always, not to cut you off, I was always told that you can't remove medical. I was told you can't remove medical and you can't remove, I believe, education. That's what I was.
So certain education you can't. So like when it comes to like federal, for the most part. But medical, because at the end of the day, it's a violation of a verifiable piece of information. Similar to like a bankruptcy, right? If a bankruptcy is on your credit, did you know that the courts don't furnish that information to the credit bureaus?
No.
So what happens is there's sub companies called like LexisNexis, and other companies called like Pacer.gov. So LexisNexis will say, hey, Pacer.gov, I need a list of all these public records. Yeah. And then LexisNexis is like, hey, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, how much y'all gonna give me for these public records I done got?
They selling
it. So then it's listed on your credit report, right? Okay. The courts never sent that to the credit bureaus, right? So there's a process in place to ensure that for our clients that are in those bankruptcy type situations, to reach out to, the local courts to just get a formal verification that they don't solicit or share that information with the credit bureaus, right? Okay. And then there's a follow-up process to then dispute it with LexisNexis. Hey, we know you didn't get this the right way. Get it up out of there. Then we dispute it with the credit bureaus.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So there's a process for all of those things, but, a lot of times we try to educate our clients as much as possible while keeping it simple, just to build trust. Okay. Right? Our goal is to build trust and really, really do the work. Like, we're not out here just to, get clients. Our goal is to change clients' life. I had one client that started with us back in August, and I was super proud because he sent me a text. I think it was like late September, and it was this brand new red cherry BMW. And I'm like, okay, you got another liability, but I hope you might turn into an asset. I hope you're thinking right. But I was excited because he didn't have transportation for his family. Wow. They were taking the public transport for 5 months prior to that because the old car broke down and they couldn't afford a new car and his credit wasn't right. So being able to, again, provide an impact.
Yeah, that's an impact on my life.
That's an impact
from not having transportation to cleaning up your credit and having a brand new BMW.
No down payment.
I mean, regardless of the type of vehicle, but a BMW.
He won't plan. He said he went from nothing to BMW. I was like, okay, brother, just make sure stay smart. Yeah.
Would you help? You're saying you hope he uses it as a asset, not a liability, but you also teach or help people with business credit so they can use things like that for an asset, right?
So, one of the things is, like Turo. Turo is out there, and if you don't know what Turo is, it's pretty much a site where you can list your vehicle that you have if it meets, requirements and standards to be able to allow other people to use your vehicle and make income off that car every month, right? So think about it. If you had a $350 car note every month, but you're making $600-$700 a month on one vehicle, and maybe it's only being rented out for 15 days a month that you still have access to, and you're paying off that car at the same time, that no longer is a liability. it's similar to like having a house. If you live in a house, it's a liability. But when you move out of that house and it starts to be a rental property, it's now an asset. It's no longer a liability because now you're making money off of whatever that item is. So one of the things we try to focus on with our credit clients is when they come through our credit repair program, we do have partners that are in place. So if a client needs trade lines, right, depending on what their credit report needs, if they need trade lines, if they need help with structuring out their business, right? So, sometimes people say, I got this LLC, I'm ready for some business credit, baby. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. You got to do the work.
Okay.
You got to do the work. So you got to have things in place like trade lines. You want to make sure you got the Dun & Bradstreet. You want to make sure that you reporting on Google. You want to make sure that you got a business phone number, a 1-800 number, a business email, a business address, or a business virtual. All of these things matter when it comes to structuring out that business. And these are the things that, as our clients come through their credit repair program, we're able to funnel them through wherever they need to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are y'all doing the work for them? Is it a joint effort, or are y'all teaching them kind of to fish for themselves? Yeah.
So for the most part, when it comes to the business structuring, I put some hard work into an ebook. So with the ebook, that's going to give them step by step on the play to structure out their business, right? To ensure that they're preparing themselves for business funding, right? In addition to that, some other things as far as trade lines, we just have partnerships right now. I don't have a direct trade line within the business, but we source them out to people we know who can take care of them. Mortgage lenders and realtors are in place as well to kind of get our clients in the right place.
That's awesome. So you really are helping people and impacting lives, like you said.
Yes,
Not
sir.
a game.
Not a game. Nah. I only got my name, right? My name is on the business. Only one.
Okay. What's the name of the business?
Taylor Minds Consulting.
Taylor Minds Consulting. All right. I'll make sure I have some information, a link below or something like that, where they can get in contact and get their credit right.
Yes, sir. Get your credit right. It's important.
Absolutely. Because your credit is your name. Like it's all coming back.
It's all coming back.
So kind of what I've been taking away from our conversation. So I try to find a few clues throughout the dialogue that I can point out to our guests. Now, they may watch the video or listen to the podcast and find their own clues, and I hope they do.
Yeah.
But a couple things that I've seen that have really made you so successful is, one, you found your purpose. And I know a lot of people struggle with finding their purpose, but you found it early. You're willing to do the work. You are always open and attentive. You're listening and receiving education. Yeah. You don't let ego get in the way.
Correct.
And you genuinely care about people. So I even noticed from your business, you more than 10x'd your business just by shifting, looking at the money and caring for people. So once you really started genuinely caring for people, business blew up.
Yeah, because people don't remember this in any business. People don't buy because of the product or the service. That's the misconception that people have. They don't. They buy because of the company or the individual.
Okay.
Because think about it. If you go to, I don't know if you like chicken wings, right? Like, there's 100 chicken wing spots in Richmond. So either, you like the experience that you get when you go to that place. You like the staff. The food has to be good, obviously, right? Yeah. But there's something else that makes you going into that place versus somewhere else special. Yeah. Clients tell me all the time in credit or film is, hey, Isaiah, I chose you because, at the end of the day, I believe in you. I trust you. Yeah. People have to know, trust you. Know, trust you. Yeah. And if they can't do that, then that's going to be my first month. It's going to be a 4-client month. It's going to be a 4-client month for you. Don't do it.
Well, you're successful, and you're going to continue to be successful because I definitely trust you. I know people find it easy to gravitate to you and trust you. Yeah. And your work speaks for itself.
Appreciate that, brother.
So I can't wait to follow up with you, see how well it goes and how your business continues to explode. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for spending time with us.
Hopefully I'll come back when you make it big, man. You know what I'm saying? I need to come back on the show.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
So, as always, I want to remind you that nothing is impossible. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Until next time on the Success Leaves Clues podcast.